mindfulness and brain strength is dead easy to do. I imagine that you might have already done some work on this already. Any sort of meditation or mindfulness practice can be really, really useful through menopause. But what we're going to do this evening is we're going to start with a little bit of breath work. We're just going to settle into the space that we're in. And then we're going to do a little bit of sense mindfulness. So we're going to explore sounds and touch and breath. And it's going to be really simple, but this can be done in 2-minute slots. It can be done in 10-minute slots, or you can, take 20 minutes, half an hour, as long as you want. But we're just going to do a little bit to start with, and hopefully clear out some of the fog, strengthen the brain muscles a little bit, and then we'll work into our more physical practice as well. So to get started, do find a comfortable seated position. I'm sat on my little meditation cushion here, but you can sit on the mat. You could always lean up the wall. You can sit on a chair as well if you would like to. It's entirely up to you, and it doesn't have to be cross-legged. You can be legs out. And if you are feeling quite drained, or you've just really had a day of it, do feel free to lie down, because we'll come back round. We'll get moving in more than enough time. So wherever we're choosing to be, we're going to lower or close the eyes, whichever feels right for you. And we're just going to come to the breath. So I just want you to feel the cooler air coming in and the warmer air going out. And as simple as that, we're just going to feel the breath coming in and coming out. And just taking your time to feel the temperature of the breath as it comes in and out of the nose. And relax the shoulders and the jaw. Soften the forehead. And then when you are ready, we're going to start taking the breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Just going to sigh the breath out, nice and gentle. There's no force at the moment. We're just letting the breath sigh out. And notice if you want to deepen the breath now. Notice where you feel the breath. Is it the belly or the chest, or are we still focused on the nose and the mouth? As we breathe in, just feel how we're filling with fresh oxygen. And as we breathe out, we can really empty out. Allow the breath to go completely to the end. Taking just a few more of those. And then we're going to start with the breath, breathing in through the nose. And as we breathe out through the mouth, imagine you're fogging up a mirror and you're making a sound. And then see if we can close the lips now. And as we breathe in and out through the nose, can we make that same fogging up noise with the breath? And this is Ujjayi breath. That sounds a little almost Darth Vader-y. This helps to clear the mind and just focus the thoughts. Just taking a few more here. If it doesn't suit you and you prefer to go back to breathing out through the mouth, do feel free. This is your practice. And then let's take 3 more of those breaths, whatever variation we're doing. And then allow the breath to settle back to just a natural in and out through the nose. And it might feel good just to take the chin down to the chest and roll the head from side to side. Just relieving any tension in the neck. And then bring the head back to settle in the center. So we're keeping the eyes closed. And with that soft breath coming in and out of the nose. I'd like you to turn your awareness to what you can hear. See if you can hear the furthest away sound. And then work your way in, picking up every little sound that you hear along the way. Finally working into the closest sound you can hear. Can you hear your own breath? Then we're going to shift our awareness to your sense of touch. So taking a thumb and a finger together. I want you to rub the thumb and the finger together. Very gently. And focus your attention there. Feel the ridges of the finger and the thumb. And if you find your mind wandering, bring it back nice and gently, back to that sensation. And now gently bring all of the fingertips on one hand to all of the fingertips on the other hand. And then gently run one hand up and down the other. Just feel the skin, the temperature. You can swap over. If the mind wanders, just bring it back nice and gently. And then let those hands just fall down into the lap. Bring yourself back to the awareness of the breath. Just feeling the in and the out now. Noticing the speed of the breath. And if you do struggle to focus, you could simply say to yourself, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. And when you're ready, flicker open the eyes. Perfect. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope that you could see how just bringing yourself into either one of the senses can really just help clear out the fog a little bit. And if we can aim to do that throughout the day, so maybe do it in the morning, at lunchtime, afternoon, and then even before we go to bed, it can just keep us really acutely aware of what's going on in our brain. And I also like to do just a quick one if I am feeling that sense of overwhelm and I'm not able to function, you know, I'm trying to do my accounts or something that's just a little bit brain taxing and it's just not happening. Just taking even 2 minutes and doing one of those activities, so either the hand rubbing, the breathing, the listening, just for 2 minutes can really help focus the mind. And the more we do it, the stronger those brain muscles become, and the easier we find it to focus on things, and the easier we find it to sort of just draw ourselves out of that brain fog. So you might even toy with just setting your alarm for certain points in the day and taking those little breaks. It's really, really good to experiment with. And not everybody's going to love the sense of touch. Not everybody's going to love the breath. So just do what feels right for you and what sort of feels natural. I like the breath. Being a yoga teacher, I find that a lot easier. I do struggle with the sound a little bit, but you might be completely different. So now that we're all focused and we're feeling a little bit more zen, let's get a bit of movement into the body. So I should just come to my mat. So we're going to come to hands and knees to start with. So do feel free to pop a blanket under the knees if they're feeling a little bit achy, or if you do have sort of knee joint issues. Always welcome to pad equally with the wrists as well. So we're going to spread the hands onto the floor. And hands are under the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips. Toes can be tucked in or feet can be flat, whatever feeling best for you. And we're going to start with our menopause cat-cow tilts. So these are just like the standard cat-cow tilts, but we're really focusing on this lower back, and we're going to start the movement from the sitting bones. So as we inhale, we're going to lift the sitting bones, let the belly drop, let the gaze come up. As we exhale, sitting bones are going to tuck under. We're going to wave all the way up the body. Head is going to come heavy. Inhale, sitting bones are coming up. And the body winds, lovely. Exhale, tuck under. Lovely. Keep it moving with your breath. And we're just focusing on the hips and the tailbone leading us into this posture. Taking your time to undulate the spine. And you might find that this feels easy, it might feel a little stiff, but just moving without judgment. So there's no good, there's no bad, it's just where the body is today. Taking just a few more of these. Waking the spine up, particularly if we've been sat down a lot today. And then we're going to sit back on the heels and let the arms go out long into a nice child's pose. Let the head come down. Maybe give the wrist a little roll. And just focus on the breath, getting that rhythm of breath nice and settled. Fabulous. We're going to come back up to tabletop when we're ready. I'm going to just take the knees back a little bit. So they want to be behind the hips now, and we're coming into a half plank posture. So if the knees are still under, we're going to feel a bit of pressure on the arms, but not quite as much as if we start to take the knees back. If we take them back and drop the hips into a half plank, we're going to now feel the tummy muscles are working. So see where we can take this. We're going to hold it there for a couple of breaths. Lovely. When you're ready, on an exhale, we're just going to take the bottom back into a child's pose, leaving the hands where they are. Inhale, come back up and forward, back into that half plank. Exhale, take it back. Inhale, take it forward. And again, we're going to move with the breath. Now, the trick here is when we're going forward, we're not dropping the hips to the floor, so we're not coming into a back bend. We're keeping the tummy muscles in, maybe the pelvic floor lifted, and bringing the bottom and the back into a nice long line. Lovely. I'm going to take a few more of these, and there is an extra option if you're feeling like you do want to build some more strength into the arms. We come forward, then we bend the elbows, bring ourselves down. We bring it back up, and then we go back. So we're inhaling, coming forward. We're exhaling, bending the elbows. Inhale, straightening the arms. Exhale, taking it back. Or we don't have to take that bend, we can just come forwards and backwards, still building in strength to the arms and the torso. Lovely. Let's take it through one more time, whichever variation you are working with. Lovely. Take it back to child's pose. Take a moment, take a breath. Fabulous. Let's lead it back up to tabletop when you're ready. From here, we're going to push into the hands, tuck the toes under and push up into our downward facing dog. So taking the bottom up high, heels are pulling down. And we might just pedal out the legs here, bending one, then the other. Just get a little bit of action here. As always, if downward dog just doesn't feel right, or it does tend to bring on hot flashes, we're going to come back to tabletop and then stretch one leg and then the other. So we're still getting that lovely, nice lengthening in the back of the leg, but we're not bringing on excess heat. So whichever one works for you. Lovely. When you are ready, we're going to come into a forward fold. So we're going to walk the feet forward and let the body hang. So there's a nice little bend here in the knees. We're going to let the body hang. Maybe take a little nod of the head. You could even come into a ragdoll, hands to the elbows. Have a nice little swing from side to side.
Fabulous. Let's release the hands, bend the knees a little deeper. We're going to inhale, roll up to standing. Do have a nice little shake off, shake it off. And particularly in the evening, it is really nice just to release. Shaking the body is a great way to let the nervous system know that we're good. We're all right, we're shaking it off. Lovely. We're going to bring the legs together. So you're going to give the thighs a little squeeze, the glutes going to have a little squeeze. I'm going to stand side on so you can see me. I'm going to bring the hands together at the heart, spread the toes into the earth. I'm going to move into a chair posture. I'm going to take a nice deep breath in. As we exhale, bend the knees, sit back as if we were sitting on a chair. Thighs are squeezing together, tummy is lifted, pelvic floor is lifted, so we're feeling nice and strong in the torso. And again, it doesn't have to be huge, we can have a little bend or it might be a bigger bend. If we're wanting to bring in the arms, we can take the arms out in front, steady breaths, so building strength into the legs, into the torso, and also the arms if we're lifting. Lovely, nice, few more breaths there. Fabulous. Inhale, let's straighten up, stretch the arms. As we exhale, bring it down. Ooh, give the legs a little shimmy off. You're going to turn to be wide on the yoga mat, so just facing the long edge. Feet are going to start facing the long edge, and we're going to take it as wide as feels, sort of comfortable and confident. We're pushing into both feet equally, and then do notice, do you fall out onto the edge of the feet, or are we pushing down on the inside? Can we spread into all four corners of the feet? Fab. A little tiny micro bend in the knees so that we've not locked them into the joints. We want to use the muscles as well as the bones here. Fabulous. We're going to take a nice deep breath in, lift the arms. As we exhale, fold it forward. Now we're going to bring the arms down, hands come to the legs so that we can slide ourselves down with a little bit of support. If you want to stay here, or if you want to just go all the way down and have a little hang, that is entirely up to you. Again, just be mindful of the weight in the feet. Maybe giving the head a little nod. And then we're going to bring the hands back onto the legs. Tense the tummy, lift the pelvic floor, and as we inhale, bringing it right back up, nice flat back. So we're really working into the hips and the belly there. Fabulous. Let's take the right toes, point them to the short edge of the mat, and bend the front knee. So body is open to the long edge. We're in warrior two position. So hands can come to the hips, or arms can come up in line with the shoulders. Pushing into that back leg as much as we're pushing into the front leg. Gazing over the fingertips. Wonderful. Pausing here for just a few breaths. Checking in with the Mula Bandha, so the pelvic floor, the tummy, and the chin is parallel with the earth. So we've got a lovely strong body. Fabulous. Let's straighten that leg. We're going to keep the arms where they are. Turn that foot in, and then turn the left foot out. Bend the left knee. So we're coming up to warrior two on the other side. Lovely. Gazing over the fingertips. Pushing into the legs. Nice tall body. Wonderful, lovely. Perfect. Let's straighten into that front leg. Turn the toes back into the centre. Lovely. Going to keep the arms there just for a few more minutes. A few more breaths, not minutes, don't worry. And if you want to bring in a little bit of movement, you might lean to one side, back up. Lean to the other side and back up. So we're not trying to get the hand to the leg. What we're doing is keeping the arms in line and moving the torso. Lovely. Fabulous. Back into centre. Let's release the arms. Oof, give them a nice little shake out. Then we're going to turn the heels in slightly so that the feet are pointing away from each other. I'm going to start with taking the hands to the hips. Relax the shoulders, but then pull the elbows back, almost as if they were going to touch behind you. Take a nice deep breath in. As we exhale, we're going to bend the knees. So it could be a little bend, doesn't have to be huge, or we could come right down. Yogic squat here. Lovely. Pulling the elbows back, keeping the chest lovely and open. Few breaths there, feeling the strength in the legs. Taking 3 more breaths if that feels okay. Remember, you can come out at any point. And then bring the legs to straight. Lovely. Let's heel toe it back in. Give yourself a nice little shake out again. We're going to bring the feet back together and we're going to do a tree posture. So this is a lovely balance. Do feel free to grab a wall if you're feeling a little wibbly. So legs together or as close together as feels comfortable. This evening we're going to start with taking the hands and just pressing them gently against the heart. This really gives you just a sense of self-connection, helps you to balance. Pick a point on the floor that you can very gently stare at. And then we're going to take the right toes onto the earth. And then we're going to open up that knee into a little baby tree posture. So your options here are to take that right foot onto the calf muscle, or you might even take it onto the thigh muscle. Lovely. So you choose. You might feel there's a little bit of wind in the trees tonight, so they're a little wobbly. Or you might be perfectly still, who knows? Pause in there just for a few more breaths. Often we find that balances are a lot easier if we've got a clearer mind. Can we focus on the breath as we balance? Wonderful. Let's gently release down. Pedal the legs out. Feel the difference between the legs. Come back to centre and then let's take that onto the other side. So just starting with that very gentle press against the heart. Taking a breath to ground you and then lifting the left foot onto the toes. Bringing that knee out. And then choosing where you want to take that foot, how high. Ooh, and you might notice on one side you're a little more balanced than the other. Fabulous. Just feel the breath. Relax the face. Perfect, lovely. Let's release down. And again, do feel free to just flick off the legs. Flick them off. Shake off what needs to be shaken off. And then we're going to travel to the short edge of your mat, to the top of your mat. So you've got plenty of space to step backwards. Nice mountain posture, so feet about hip distance, shoulders back and down. We're going to inhale, lift the arms. As you exhale, fold it down. And we're going to bring the hands to the earth. So bend the knees as much as you need to. And we're going to step it back to downward facing dog. But do choose a child's pose if you prefer. I'm going to take 2 or 3 breaths there, really sending the sitting bones high, melting the heart towards the thighs, gently encouraging the heels towards the ground. They might not get there, they might do. Lovely. And let's bring the knees down. When you're ready, back into your tabletop position. Fabulous. From here, we're going to take that right leg back onto the toes and push the back heel away. Engage the belly. So we're working on this ab section now, the hips and the abs. If it feels comfortable, bring that foot up off the ground. We're not taking it any higher than the hip, so we're not sort of trying to do a little glute workout. We're getting a nice long feeling through the leg and the back. Your next option would be to take the left arm out in front and have one lovely long line. For just 2 or 3 more breaths. Keep gently pulling the belly in and then bring it down when you're ready. Take a little swing from side to side. Fabulous. Let's take the left leg out now. Push that heel away to start with. Get your balance. And then you can take this as far as you want to go. So left leg comes up. And then maybe the right arm comes up and out. Nice steady breaths. Fabulous, lovely. And then let's bring it down. Sitting back on the heels for a moment, lifting the body and just shake off the arms, roll the wrists. And then we're going to take the knees nice and wide. Maybe the toes have come together. We're just going to settle down into a nice long child's pose, stretching the arms out in front, melting the head and the chest towards the floor. You could always bring the hands under the head if you prefer. Just relaxing the hips, the back. And just checking in with the breath. Lovely. When we're ready, we're bringing it back to our tabletop position. Perfect. So we're going to take that right leg back out again, but we're going to keep the toes on the floor this time. We're then going to drop that right heel, so the whole foot is down. The next option here is to lift the right arm up. So we're coming into a half supported side plank here. You can take those left toes out to the left a little bit more, just to give you a bit of extra balance. Perfect. The next option on from this, which might feel a little bit more intense, would be then to take the left leg back to meet the right. So we're coming into that half side, coming from the half side plank to the full side plank. So we've either got the knee down for a little bit of support, or we're taking that leg back. 2 or 3 breaths, pulling into the belly, pushing the hip up to the sky, bringing that knee down, hand down, leg down, come back into tabletop. Again, take a little movement, release any tension, and then we'll take that onto the other side. So I'm just going to turn so you can see where I am. So we're taking the left leg out, dropping that heel so the whole foot now comes to the floor. And we're going to lift this left arm. Lovely. So really building strength into the arms and into the body. That right foot can go out to the side a little to give you a bit of extra balance, or you might take right foot back to meet the left, come in to your side plank. 2 or 3 breaths here, wherever we are. Lovely. We bring it back down, nice and staggered, nice and slow. And again, just swinging the body. Lovely. We're going to slide the knees back, keeping the hands underneath the shoulders, coming back into that half plank, or if you're feeling like you want to go into a full plank by lifting the knees, we're just taking 2 or 3 breaths here. Lovely. And then we're going to lower all the way down to the ground. So we're going to bring the belly down, forehead comes down, hands are under the shoulders. On an inhale, we're going to lift the head and the chest up into a little cobra. So we've got a few options here. If this is feeling like it's putting too much pressure on the back, bring the hands forward so the elbows come under the shoulders. And we're in a Sphinx position. This is a lovely little back bend. It's opening the front of the body. Otherwise, we've got the hands under the shoulders. Perfect. And we might toy with taking the feet off the floor and then maybe even the hands off the floor. So coming almost into a little bow posture. This is great for strengthening into the back and the belly. Exhale, bring it down, bring the head down. Then we're going to make our way up to a downward facing dog. So elbows in tight, we might just push onto the knees and then send the sitting bones high. Taking 2 or 3 breaths here in our downward facing dog. If you prefer to come straight into child's pose, then do. Lovely. And then we're going to bring it down to the knees. We're going to sit back very gently and then just slide off the legs, bring the legs out in front. So we're now sat on our sitting bones. Just take a little roll of the shoulders, just check out the neck, make sure we're not sort of holding on to too much tension, particularly if some of this is new. We can have a tendency to sort of grit our teeth to try and get through it. We're going to have the feet flat to the floor, knees are going to be bent, and we're very, very nicely lifting the spine up tall. So this is going to involve the belly, the pelvic floor and the back. And take the arms behind the arms, hands behind the thighs, lift the chest and then see if we can bring the feet off the floor into a boat posture. So the higher the feet are, the more we're going to feel a little challenge. So you decide, and you could always take the hands off the legs as well. So whatever feels right for you. Taking 3 breaths here. Wonderful. Let's release the feet down. Fab. We're going to lower down to the ground, just in your own way. So really just take your time. Lower the spine to the earth. Take a moment just to appreciate that lovely length of spine here. And then we're going to bring the knees up to the belly and give yourself a little hug in, a little rock from side to side. Fabulous. And then we're going to take a bit of a deeper twist than we have done in previous weeks, just to really help release tension. So when we've been doing some big strength work, particularly if we've been working on the torso, it's nice to have a good twist out. So we're going to lengthen the left leg down to the floor, squeezing this right knee in for a moment, rocking from side to side. Just get a little bit of mobility in that hip. We're then going to leave the left hand on and take the right arm just up and away, relax it onto the ground, wherever feels right for you. Take a nice deep breath in. As we exhale, we're going to take this right knee across the body, trying to leave both shoulder blades on the earth. You might feel a little lift and see how far we can take the twist. But we're listening to the body. We're not forcing past anything. Taking your time to breathe here. Lovely. You might even begin to lower or close the eyes. Fab. Let's inhale, bring that knee back to center. Take a moment, let the leg fall down. Come to a nice long body for a moment. Notice how that feels. And then we're going to take that to the other side. So let's bring that left knee up and give it a little side to side movement, maybe around a little circle, getting into that hip joint, particularly when we've been sat down. Lovely. Let's take the left arm away just to relax onto the earth. Take a nice deep breath in, and then as you exhale, take that knee across the body, coming into the twist. And just taking it as far as feels good. Lovely long breath. Fabulous. Bring it back into center nice and slowly. This time we're going to bring both knees up again. Give yourself that little hug. Maybe even rocking and rolling around on the floor. Massage into the earth until you're ready to bring the feet down, and then just let yourself come into a little Shavasana position, a relaxation posture. So you might be flat to the floor, you might have knees bent, maybe even letting the knees fall into each other. That's quite nice. You're always welcome to take your legs up the wall as well. That can be really great, just draining any stress from the legs. And remember, cushions under the head or even under the knees if you want a little bit of extra comfort. So you settle in to your Shavasana position. Let the body be heavy on the earth. And maybe if we haven't already, starting to lower or close the eyes. And taking a moment to just adjust yourself on the earth. Find a little bit of stillness here. And then bring your awareness fully into the body. Start to notice, is anything tingling? Does anything feel warm or cold? Can you feel the practice in the body? What's been moved?
What's been challenged, maybe? And just scanning the body, finding all sensations, noticing everything. And just acknowledging how the body's been able to move, how it's been able to support you. And then bring your awareness back to the breath. In and out through the nose. Notice the rhythm of the breath once more. How does it feel in the body? Does it feel slower? Does it feel deeper? And there's no right, there's no wrong. And if the mind is chattering away, as it likes to do, each time you notice it, just bring it back to the breath. I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. Let the heaviness of the body melt into the earth. And as you feel that rhythm of breath, just allow those waves of the inhale and the exhale just to rock you into some relaxation. And the body can be both strong and soft. And if the mind wanders, bring it back. And just relax for a few more moments. She in the dark found light, brighter than many ever see. She within herself found loveliness through the soul's own mastery. And now the world receives from her dower the message of strength, of inner power.
Take a nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Roll the wrists and ankles. Just take any movement, a yawn, a stretch, do whatever feels right for you right now, until you feel ready to maybe roll over onto one side and come to a seated position, whatever that might look like for you. Just taking your time, finding that lovely long spine once again. And then bringing the hands to the heart for a moment, nodding the head and just acknowledging your practice, acknowledging that you turned up for yourself today, which is really the most difficult bit, and acknowledging your strength. Namaste.